that I have no clue what y'all talking about.
It's okay.
What's new?
What? I don't. How can you have a clue about what we're talking about if we haven't started talking?
You said the Yo's 5 lines?
It's 6 lines, but yeah,
Um,
I'll send it out.
We're talking about the way that it looks. It's from chapter 16. It's the Cal imperfect weak verbs.
Oh, you talking about the one with the Seagull and the Siri? Oh, yeah. Where is that paper? Okay, thanks. I'm up to date now. I'm looking for.
Chapter 16.
Yeah, but
Somewhere.
she had a handout for that.
Yeah, and I just
did.
sent it out to Alyssa, so she'll send it out to everyone else.
You know what? She handed out something like that the other day. This thing. Can you see it?
No.
Hold on.
That's also because I have it with me. Hold on.
No?
Oh, yeah, I think that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, she handed that out the other day, but it had more stuff on there. It's like 11.
Yeah, she had one with a bunch of like mems, so recognizing which particle or which participle would this be, and then what are all the options of what could start, you know, all the PLs. And I don't know.
Okay. So you have then 8 paradigms. That's what she said that would be on the final?
Those were her words.
Yep.
Okay, then I'm assuming that it's for the Cal, and so it's the strong ones, which is perfect and imperfect and imperative, and then the active and passive participle. So that's 5. And then for the weak, you'd have the third hey perfect and the third hey imperfect. And
Bicon.
that's 7. Okay, so then you have the biconsonantal, but not. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Biq. Just the perfect, not the imperfect of it.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. You guys remember all of those?
I mean, it would take about 30 minutes worth of work to get them back.
Okay, then you should spend about to get all of those, because they'll probably all be on there. Or at least the ones that are the most confusing, like the participles and the imperatives.
Oh, I will.
And you should practice them with other words instead of just katal, because she likes to use zakar sometimes. But it's the same thing.
Like she did that one quiz we had, and I was writing out all of Catol or Catal, and had to go back and erase and redo it. Yep, remember that very well.
And if you are using an instrument that you can erase with, you need to press harder on it.
Erasing for the week.
Or you can pen and white out. That works just as well. It really does. Okay, so those are the paradigms. Then you need to know all of your strong diagnostics, including the ones that have 2 options. Fall has 2 options. You need to know both of those.
She definitely went back on what she said regarding the PL. She absolutely said we would never have to know the final vowels or the second vowel, and then she said she changed her mind. So
did she say that, or did it just going off of the quiz?
She's saying this is what we're doing now. It doesn't matter what I said before.
Okay. Well, the diagnostic for PL is Hirak and then a dot in the second one.
Yes. That's what the book says.
Yep.
But
and
now
that's the truth.
Now we have to know the Saray, and I guess it's a Pathak and sometimes a Schwa. So we have to know that.
It's either a Pathak or a Saray, and it typically just depends on which consonants are there with it. But what you need to know is that there's a dot and a dot. There's 2 dots, one at the bottom and one in the middle. Hirak and Dagesh.
If you say so.
I say so. But there are other ones that you do have to know both. You have to know both of the Hifil perfect ones. and Hopeful has 2 options for all of them. And you need to know that the participle in the Nifal has 2 options. I think that's all of it.
You're
And then
not
active and passive participle.
you're not expecting that we are recreating weak diagnostic bubbles?
What?
I am expecting that you're definitely going to have to do those strong ones. And if I had to guess which weak diagnostics you'd have to do, it would be probably the Nifal 1 guts and the PL 2nd guts, and maybe the HIFIL 1 guts. All the gutturals. Because those are the weirdest ones. I don't think that she's ever asked you to do to do diagnostics for first noon or first yod for any of them. It's always been gutturals that she's asked. Does that sound right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, well, your final's in Jacksonville somewhere. I just need to find it.
I'm sure that's easy to do where you are.
I'm sure it will be very simple. It's on the other lady's desk in a manila folder.
That's somewhat helpful.
Somewhat. At least I know that it's not in Massachusetts.
Or it's not waiting to be made.
That's also true. It is completed.
Good.
So you could probably take it, well, what time is it? Hopefully by tomorrow, if you wanted to.
Okay.
Maybe. But it would have to be tomorrow afternoon because I have to find someone who will be able to go look for it tomorrow. And who will. And Matt's watching. Hold on 1 second. It's kind of creepy when people watch but aren't part of the hangout, but that's okay.
I didn't know that was an option. That's really cool.
I was saying that the weak diagnostics that you'll probably have would be the gutturals. The Nifal 1 guts are usually ones that she asks about, and the PL 2nd gutturals. Pretty much wherever the dagesh is gonna be changed or rejected. Any of those diagnostics, which is the guttural ones, are going to be the ones that you need to know. Probably those are going to be the ones you need to reproduce. But all of the rest of the weak ones, you're probably just going to need to know them by parsing, not so much by reproducing them in a diagnostic bubble. Hold on.
Yeah, oddball person. I'm ready.
Okay. And Matt, now you're asking about the patterns with weak verbs. Well, the main pattern is that you're looking for, the ones that you need to know, is if there is a guttural where there's supposed to be a dagesh, then the spelling is going to change. That's the main thing that you're looking at. So with nifals, the 1 gutturals are the ones that have the spelling change because that's where the dagesh goes in the strong diagnostic. With PL and Pual, it's the 2nd gutturals because it's the 2nd root position where the dagesh normally, but a guttural rejects it. So that's the pattern, I guess, that you're looking for. But if you're looking for another pattern, then when a dagesh is rejected, you have to know it's either compensatory lengthening or virtual doubling. And so those will probably be grammar questions. You need to know what those are. And you also need to know what the spelling changes are for both of them. So if you have, she would probably say, what's the Nifal diagnostic for perfect for one gutturals with compensatory lengthening, you'd have to be able to do that one and not the one for virtual doubling. Does that make sense? You can text me. Okay. I'm going to keep going, and if you have any other questions, you can just keep texting me. Okay? Okay. So those are the main ones, but the other ones that you need, the other weak verbs, the diagnostics, you need those more for to be able to parse.
Oh, okay.
You need to be able to parse them the right way. You need to be able to recognize them. So the most common ones that are confusing are the first yods, the first noons, and in some of them, the biconsonantals, because the biconsonantals can look a lot like the first yods.
So it would help if we knew our vocab.
Yeah, you do need to know your vocab, all of it. And you probably need to know some of the vocab that's in Genesis 22 that I know you haven't had. So as you're going through that, you should mark out the vocabulary that you don't recognize and just make it some of the vocab that you're working on. Okay.
Okay.
And what else do you need to do? There's probably going to be weird parsing in Genesis 22 that's usually weak verbs, or it's one of the stems that are kind of newer. So you need to pay attention to those as well, because she'll probably take some parsing from the translations.
Like the one Hishtafel?
Yes, and that one part in the Hithpael chapter, I think it's on 3 something. 390. 390.
Oh, not
The
4.
one with the metathesis and the assimilation. The metathesis is where the tau switches places with anything that sounds kind of like an S. Yeah.
That's
like an S.
stupid.
And then the assimilation is when the tau goes away, when there's anything that has a D or a T sound. I doubt those would be grammar questions, but if they were, they're on page 390 and 91. But they're probably more likely to show up in parsing. But they still look close enough to the regular Hithpael that you should be able to do it. But you just have to understand that that's what's happening. I think it would be a good grammar question, but I think that pretty much means it won't be. Hold on. Okay. Do you have any other questions about the diagnostics or the parsing?
Not existentially until
Not existentially.
you get the exam.
Okay. It would be a lot easier if I had it, but I don't. And then you probably also have grammar questions too. So the grammar questions, I think that she'll probably ask you about the imperfect performatives from what chapter did you say it was, 16? Yeah, I think she'll ask you those. And then she'll ask questions probably about voice and action and the differences between compensatory lengthening and virtual doubling. And you should probably study your other quizzes for parsing options And it's just some of the kinds of grammar questions that she asks. And I think it was the last quiz that you had where she asked, or maybe the quiz before, something like the PL participle feminine plural diagnostic.
Yeah.
That was kind of random, but I would assume that she would do it again. All right, I can go through Genesis 22, but is there anything from any of the past chapters that is confusing or hard or gut-wrenching?
I mean, we did Genesis 22 for 8 hours yesterday, or Saturday.
Okay, so we don't have to do that then.
I mean, that's my vote.
The parsing in it, that's confusing.
She went over all of that. She went over all the parsing.
It was like an exegesis class. We went
Okay.
verse by verse, one person read it, parse all the verbs, talk about it. 8 hours. Not a good day.
Okay. You probably don't need to go back through that right now.
That's my vote. But, you know, everyone else can take it.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to remember. The only other thing that I think that you would need to do then is I would practice the parsing that's in the workbook. It's like, I don't know, there's like 200 parsings or something. And it starts on page 279. And it goes and goes and goes. Page 286. All of the different options for parsing. We can practice parsing if you'd like, or that is the majority of everything that I think will be on the final, and at this point is really just about getting comfortable with it. And then if you have any specific questions, I can help with those. So it's up to you.
I have very specific questions. But my questions are too specific for right now. If you don't have.
They're too specific for right now. Okay. Do you have any questions, John?
I have issues with the cohortative and the jussive. Like, I
I have
can
issues with the cohortative and the jussive. What kind of issues?
I never recognize them. Every time I see one or try to parse it, I always continually call it imperfect and get it completely wrong.
Well, you're not getting it completely wrong.
Okay, so I got the imperfect part right, but it's still not right on the test or the quiz.
Right, that's true. So what is cohortative?
Where's my book? Hush.
No.
Uh-oh, did I lose you guys?
Was that hush for me?
What?
Was I being hushed?
I don't think so. Not that time.
I hear you. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you and see you.
Okay, I gotta find you guys. I don't know what happened. Oh, I see. Okay. No, that's from my daughter. She's singing if you can't hear that.
She has a beautiful voice.
Oh, thank you. Still hush. Okay. Cohortative, imperfect. I don't know. Every time I try to, I don't know. It's just not clear. It's
Okay,
not
so what is
as much as I've
cohortative?
looked at it.
What's
but there's a lot
cohortative?
not clicking. Oh, that's the cohortative is the first person gender, imperfect.
First person imperfect, right?
Yep.
And then what's jussive?
Joseph is a third person imperfect.
Okay. So how do you translate it when it's a cohortative or a jussive? What's the helping word that you put in there?
For Joseph,
Both
may I?
May I or let me, something like that.
Let us.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember how you can tell if it's imperfect or if it's jussive? Or
One of them has a noon and one of them has the olive, but I don't know which is which.
No, both
I
of them
think
do. It's the na at the end of it.
Oh, which
But
is
that's not the only way, and it's not the main way. That's just kind of helpful because it's visual. And that's basically like adding please to it, like may I please.
that you never ever say when you are translating. That confuses me too.
Maybe not never ever, but yeah,
That you rarely.
right. This has that connotation. But that's more of a visual aid. It's not the way that I know that it's cohortative or gessive. The main way is that it's the first verb in a clause.
Okay.
So you've got a whole bunch of Hebrew in front of you, and then maybe you have a couple of nouns, and then you have a verb. And if it's the first verb within that clause, and it's imperfect, and it's first person, then it's cohortative. Or if it's imperfect in third person and the first in the clause, then it's gessive.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking for it, and I can't see it. Here we go. Okay.
Do you find the chapter? I think it's
Yeah, 18. I got it, finally. So the cohortative is the may, we, let me, let us. Okay, and the gessive has the.
Sometimes they can also have a commas hey ending at the end of it.
Yes, and it also, is that the same that changes? No, that's imperfect. Yeah, change the oath. Right, and I think that was one of the parsings that's in Genesis. Wait, Britt, I see you.
One of the parsings in Genesis?
Of the verbs that's in Genesis 22. I think there were two actually that were cohortative.
Uh-huh.
And I've said for both, and I put down both of them as imperfect. So I got.
Okay, so, well, they are imperfect, but the thing that makes them cohortative is where they are in the clause and the way that you translate it, which is adding the let me or may I.
Mm-hmm.
And usually the rest of the context will kind of tell you that that would be helpful in translation because it's a conversation that's happening.
Okay. Okay. I'm trying to find it.
Right, because let me or let us or something like that, you really only need to say that if you're asking someone a question or if you're calling people to worship.
Right, and that's right after the Hishtafel, and then comes a cohortative right after that in the fifth scripture.
Mm-hmm.
Towards the end of it.
You mean the fifth verse?
I mean, yes, verse, sorry. Bless you, babe. Yeah. Okay.
Does that help with cohortative and gessive?
That's okay. I'll be alright. I'll figure it out eventually. It'll click.
What?
It's just not clicking.
What part isn't clicking?
I have no clue. I couldn't explain it. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. I just have to keep going over. I'm gonna have to go back over that chapter yet for the fourth time again.
Yeah. Well, since the majority of the translating is going to come from Genesis, and you know that there are at least two cohortatives.
I know, but I still just want to understand it.
Yeah, the spelling doesn't change, and so it does look like an imperfect. So you're not wrong with that. The only reason that it's changing to a cohortative is because it's adding the nuance of a question to the statement that's going on.
Okay.
So rather than a question mark or adding one of those words that means what, why, who, or how, it's just where the verb is in the clause and maybe the comma te, depending on the rest of the sentence,
Mhm.
but it's primarily where it is, and that's just telling you that it's kind of softening the translation of whatever it is and making it more of a question.
Okay. Okay. That helps out.
Okay.
Yep. I'm trying to find the other one in the verse. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you have any other things that are confusing?
Mm. No, I think that was really like my issue, my main issue.
Okay. Do you have any questions, Jake?
No.
I don't know if Matt does. I think he's watching, but he hasn't asked me anything. But if you have any questions, Matt, you could text me. Okay. Do you guys want to go through any of the parsing then?
Of what?
Or is it, I feel like you really need to do a lot of vocab and translating, because I think that there's going to be more translating on this final than you're used to seeing. You just have to be really comfortable with that and making it make sense when you translate it and knowing your vocab well enough to be able to do that.
Sounds hard.
I'm sure it won't be that hard. I think it will be more than is normally on your quizzes.
I should hope so. It's a final.
Yes. But I just think... I also feel like she's probably going to have sentences on there that have some of your earlier vocab, like the smaller words that you guys tend to get confused with each other.
Yeah, those are the worst.
They are in any language, but they're always there. It helps. I make everything visual.
Yeah, like how?
It's easier to remember that way.
I know, but like how?
Like with F and F.
Huh?
There's one that starts with an aleph, and there's one that starts with an ayin. And I think the one that starts with an ayin is, no, I can't remember. Is that one time, or is that ata and ata?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? This is why I have to make it visual.
A point of time or something like that?
That's what it is. It's time. So that one kind of looks like clock hands with the iron, like that.
Yeah.
And the F just doesn't, so it's not time.
I didn't do myself any favors by learning only on the audio CD. I'll tell you that.
Oh.
Yeah. The other one that...
Look at it.
What'd you say?
You can do that in Greek because it doesn't matter. It does not help you with Hebrew.
There's another one like that. The one I always get wrong. You and now.
You and now.
Ata.
Yeah, I think it's kind of the same thing.
It is the same word.
It's not. One of them is an aleph and the other one's an ayin.
So the aleph one is...
That one is...
you.
You, yeah.
And so the ayin one is now. That one's also kind of time. I have another one, but this one will just work better.
Touchdown?
No, point of time, now.
I was just being silly.
But it also means now at last, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then Matt asked a question.
Oh, good.
all the options. Yes, I can talk about all of the options for if I see a yod, but what do you mean? Like, just, do you mean a yod in the first yod verbs, or yods, like, just existentially?
A little bit of a delay on this question process. What's he say?
He hasn't said anything yet.
Oh.
Well, I'm going to assume that you mean first yod verbs. And so the options that you have for that are normally the yod goes away in some way. Normally changes. And a lot of the time it turns into a vav, like a lightsaber. Just like that. The yod turns into a lightsaber. So it's Yoda's lightsaber verbs. You're not saying anything, so I think that's what you're asking. So, let's see, where does that happen? It happens in the nifal and in the hifil, the hofal. It's not really a big deal in the hifpile. Okay, but it just looks like a lightsaber, and I really want to know if you have another question beyond that, or if you need me to be more specific, or if you're looking for page numbers. So you could text. But I'll just give you page numbers while I wait. So first yod for nifal is on page 304, and obviously that's the only one I wrote down. And you don't really need them for PL or PUAL. And then hifil is page 360. Oh, look, those yods. Okay.
Page what?
If all options are speaking class, please get the verbal sense indicated by the imperfect.
Jake, which page did you say?
I don't know.
Which page for what?
You said hifal first yod is what page?
Oh, hifil.
I mean, I can look it up.
Page 360.
360.
And then the hofal is 3 something after that.
Yeah. Good to go.
That's just 370. No, 380. But for a hofal, you should look at the bicons and the first yods together because they look the same. But they're not. So you would need to know your vocab. Okay. And, okay. So Matt was actually talking about the form or the worksheet that you guys got this weekend. The one that says, please give the verbal stems indicated by the imperfect performative vowels. I think it's the one that you were holding up earlier.
It is.
Did she go over this at all in class, or she just give it to you?
She gave a couple of examples, but she was moving so fast, you know. Yeah, that's what I can give you.
Okay. Okay. So for this, she's looking for, and it says give all options. She's looking for which imperfect, like which stem of verb you're looking at. So the yod with the segel, I think, can be a cal imperfect of one guttural. That's the yod with the segel. That's on page 179 if you don't believe me. Yod with a Pathak. You know that one. What could that be?
Hifil.
Yeah. Just give all options. So what are some of the other options? I think that's it. No, it's not. It can also be, this is on page 187, but that can also be a cow imperfect of, I guess, doubly weak. Or, yeah, the doubly weak ones. Those are the ones that have like a first guttural and a third hay or something like that. Do you remember those from the cow imperfect?
Looking for 'em.
Okay, it's on page 187.
Thank you.
And so the one that's the most recognizable for the one with the Pathak is the Hifil, but it can also be a cow imperfect doubly. Okay?
Okay.
All right. What about Yod's comments? Is that on there twice?
Okay. Yo, comments, you said? I think that, isn't that one the, profile? Yeah, profile. And I think it could be something else too. I think it was something in the cow. Was it something in the cow?
Yeah, it's
Bicon.
what?
The bicon?
Yeah.
Or the imperfect?
And I'm going to see if it can be anything else. Definitely the Bicon. Also Geminate, type 1.
Well, yep, there it is. I see it.
Geminate is on page 182.
No.
So maybe that's why that one's on there twice, because there's so many options for it.
Yeah. Oh, I'll put them all on the same line.
But that is on there twice, isn't it? The Yo's comments and then the Yo's.
So I guess you meant cow and then Hofal for the next one, I guess. I don't know.
Sure.
I guess.
What about Yo's Holem?
I don't know. One second. I'm looking.
Angry Bakers.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Angry Baker verbs.
I know.
Do you remember what the Angry Baker verbs are?
Amar.
On page 180.
Yep. I knew that. They are the Angry Baker verbs.
Yes. The Angry Baker verbs are, in fact, Angry Baker
The
verbs.
Angry Baker verbs.
You guys.
Good job. Good teamwork there, Jake.
You're so good. All right, well, as long as you know it's on page 180, then I have...
They are Amar, Akal, Avad, Apa. Is that how you say that? To bake. Apa. Afa. And Ava.
Yep. So what's Yod Sere for?
What's the who?
The one underneath it, Yod Sere.
Oh. Sorry, I was still on Angry Baker verbs.
We've moved on.
Verbs.
Halak.
Huh?
Yotseri is for halak.
Oh, I think it is that.
For what?
It's also for first Yods, for cow.
I know, but I went with the other one.
You could go with both. It says give all options.
Well, you said halal.
I gave them all one.
You said halal?
Nope. Halak.
Halal?
Halak.
Halak. Oh, okay.
Yeah, like halak it up.
Nice. Can you get light on? Thanks.
So probably primarily first use for Cal, because what else?
So basically, it's just that sheet backwards is what we just went through.
What sheet backwards?
The one that I just sent you, we went through
Yeah.
instead of. Okay.
Yeah. And then, but it's all of, I think it's not just that sheet. Like this sheet that she gave you covers more than what that sheet is that you sent me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't pay any attention.
You didn't pay any attention to the sheet
It
that you
does.
got on Saturday or to right now?
Saturday.
The sheet that you got on Saturday has more lines.
Yeah, I probably threw that out.
What?
I probably threw that away.
That's probably not helpful.
Nah.
What about if you have a yod, uric yod? What's that?
Good question.
I really have full faith that you could find the answer.
Other first yods.
The type 2 first yods. That's also on page 184. And you know what Jake was saying earlier about halak? That's why halak is one of the ones that you're just supposed to know because it's so weird.
Well, and it comes up a lot.
Yes. God walks a lot. And so do people in Israel.
But I mean, it's the go more than the walk, right? I mean, that's always go.
Yep.
You better stop before I get you.
I just heard a ghost and a duck. I don't know what's going on in the house.
I don't think she does either.
Who you talking about, my house?
If you have
Yes.
ghosts and ducks,
Not my
get out right now.
Oh, that's called Natalia. Doing it all the time.
You named your duck ghost? That's weird.
Huh?
What?
What?
What's up? What do you got?
It's called my child.
A ghost duck.
Right. So the next one would be either PL or could be Pual.
Which one?
Yoshua. Is that?
Yeah, PL or Pual. I think there might be another one where it comes up. Just to make sure.
I'm gonna hurt you. Hush.
Yeah, I think it's just the PL and the Pual. It's not any of the other weak ones. So what about the yod with the kibbutz underneath it?
Pual. Oh, that's a Hofal. You class.
And the yod with the hirik.
Say again.
What about the yod with the hirik?
Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Say again.
Yod with the hirik.
Yod with the hero. Oh, that's Cal. And Nifal.
Yeah, it can be nifal. But there would have to be the rest of it, right? It's probably right for this form, but do you remember what the diagnostic is
For what?
for nifal?
For Yippa? For imperfect or?
Uh-huh.
So
Where the yod would be?
Yod, Harek, um, the Dogish Forte double dot, and the Kamats.
Yep.
Is that right? Sweet.
And then what's the last one on there?
So it's just Cal and Nifal?
Yep.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, shucky ducky. Oh
What
yeah,
about
I
the
don't
last
know.
one?
The last one?
One.
Hits Payel, whatever it's called.
Yep.
Hits.
So it's really the ones at the top that have a lot of options. The ones towards the bottom are pretty easy because they're just your diagnostics.
Yeah.
Okay. So you do want to go back through chapter 16 to get all of those options for the weak verbs for cal and perfect, because they can be easily confused with your diagnostics for the other stems.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Children. Thank you.
I believe they're a blessing from the Lord. Isn't that what it says?
Yep, and he also says, do not spare the rod. All right. And they're about to get it.
Okay. So that was Matt's question. Do you guys have any other questions about those diagnostics?
Hey, thanks, Matt. Appreciate that. I forgot about that page. What else did she send out, Jake? She gave out a...
I stopped listening at some point.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, really.
I believe it. Oh, wait. This one.
Hold on.
I was talking about that. I said that.
Oh, we're done with this one?
No, let me see it again.
But I'm saying I mentioned it.
Okay, now back it up so I'm not getting seasick. Okay, stop right there. Please give the verbal stems and conjugations that are indicated. Okay. So that
Well,
just
we already
has,
did. You already
those
did.
are the those are just the prefixes for the diagnostics, right?
Yeah, they look pretty easy. I can knock that one out.
Yeah, so if you know your diagnostics, you should be able to do that. It looks like the only thing that it's asking, though, is that you should be able to write that it's like a hofal participle. Like, don't just stop at hofal. You got to do the whole thing.
Yeah, that bottom one. Yep. Nipple.
I don't know if that's the right answer, by the way.
Well, the bottom one.
I just was looking at the fact that it was a prefix.
Yeah, I'm gonna use it anyway. It's better to give more than less information, I guess.
Yeah, always give all the information, because just depending on the question, if you don't have all of it, it can be all wrong.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Mm-mm.
Okay, cool beans.
Okay. So, based on the last couple of quizzes, people are always forgetting their NIFL diagnostics. Just generally, just total blank space about NIFL diagnostics. So everyone should just go back through those, because they're the same as the ones that you learned earlier. You just have to remember that you learned them already.
Roger.
And what else are people forgetting? Just with the parsing, if you have all the diagnostics there, then you have like half of your answer for all of the parsing that you have. So if you've already taken the time to write down the diagnostics, then just use it to answer your parsing rather than trying to come up with something. Because you guys are also, if you're messing up the parsing, it's just because you're trying to figure something out and to just put it down really quick, and then it's not making any sense. But you know how to do it because you have the diagnostics right.
Yep.
Okay. And that's why for the weak verbs, you just need to spend a lot of time with the first yods and the first noons, because they look the most different. Okay?
Okay.
And I'm trying to think of what else. Other than that, it's really mostly the vocab, because if you're getting anything wrong on the translations, it's because you don't know the word that's there. You can usually parse it, but you don't know what you're parsing. And so you'll get points for parsing, so good job, but all of the words in each translation sentence is worth a sentence. I mean, is worth a point. And so each word is...
Say that again. Say it again. Say it again.
If you have a sentence to translate, every word is worth 1 point. That actually works out in your favor. You don't need to panic, because you're doing really well on the quizzes, including this translations. And the fact that all of those words are worth 1 point just means that you have a higher average for your quizzes, and you can get more wrong without it affecting your grade.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Uh-huh.
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
With something in my eye. Go ahead.
All right. So you just need to go through your vocab so that you can
Oh,
translate.
Lord Jesus, be with me. Okay.
He will.
You're doing really well on your quizzes.
Probably better than me.
Are you talking to me? I thought you were talking to Jake. Thank you.
I was talking to you.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. I'm sorry.
No.
I mean, both of you are doing really well on your quizzes, but I was talking to you because the fact that I told you that each one counted for a point seemed to really stress you out, and I'm telling you that that's
No,
not
that's
really...
a good thing. It was something in my... Okay, that is a good thing. I know that. Makes sense. More points.
She was busy dealing with ghost ducks.
You know what, Jake?
I don't know.
I'm going to send my daughter over to you and let her make ghost ducks in your house.
That's fine. I'm a youth pastor. You think I'm afraid of a kid?
You won't spare the rod either, huh? All right.
I beat them with dodgeballs.
With a what?
Dodgeball.
Oh, okay. Knock him out. That's what's up. Should try that. All right. Anything else? Any other information?
I will have a lot more information tomorrow.
Okay. So are we doing this again? Are we doing this next Monday?
Yeah, I can do tutoring all the way up until.
Sweet.
Mhm.
Cool beans.
Here for that.
Your final's not until May 1st.
Right.
So,
And you're going to talk with Dr. Petter tomorrow?
yes.
She said something about talking to you about something. I don't know.
Yeah.
At your Tuesday meeting. I did get the part.
I will talk to her on Tuesday.
Roger.
Bad.
All right. That's probably it for now, but then if there's anything more specific for next week, you guys can email me and tell me, or I will probably have a better idea of what else should be studied by next week. But in the meantime, you should definitely do a lot of vocab and diagnostics.
I will.
Oh my God.
I'm stopping this now.